So whilst it's winter, I decided to do gearbox oil change and the final drive oil change. Yeah, and this is the oil I like to use in the gearbox and the final drive. So first things first is removing wheel nuts. You'll need this is a T50. So all I do is I put it in gear. That's it, so that's in gear. So next I'm going to be removing caliper, speedo cable to get to the fill plug. Also I'm going to take away this little hugger. It's also like -2 outside and it's probably not much warmer in garage, so got my little oil heater, warming oil up ready. Got a few little spaces what you don't want to lose. Next is 2 caliper bolts, so we can remove the caliper. That's a small bracket for the hugger. Top bolt. Give the caliper a bit of a squeeze. And that's it. Just next, I'm going to snip your tyre up. Your ABS cable, it's always worth putting a little mark on it so you know where it all clips back into these, so you've got it at the right length and the right bend for the flex in the final drive. You don't have to take this off, but I like to remove it so I can swing the caliper and the brake hose right out of the way. There's just some little rubbers what sit up inside it, what keep the cable and the ABS cable in line. swing it out its way now. And you rotate your hub. You undo that clamper which holds your ABS cable. And you rotate it then to take your ABS sensor out of the hub. You can see I've popped it out of that little clip that holds your ABS cable. So next you need to unscrew that and pop your little sensor out so you can drop your diff. But first of all, I'm just going to give it a general clean up around there to stop any foreign objects getting inside. I'll just slip a screwdriver out back, just gently work it out. There we go. Now you've got your little sensor out, a little clip there. Just need to pop that off and feed the cable out of the way. Yeah, just fade the cable out and put it somewhere safe out of the way. Next I'm going to remove this nut and bolt, then I can drop the final drive down to drain the oil. So next I'll be using a T50 and a 16mm to remove this bolt here. The washer and just support the back of the diff. You can remove your bolt like that. And before I let the final drive swing down, I'll remove this plug to drain the oil. And the final drive plug is a T45. And I like to drain it in a clear container, then I can check if any wear and tear on diff is present. And while that's draining, I'll be giving its splines a bit of a cleaning up and check over. And also while it's draining, I show it progress on the engine. Slowly coming off is the paint. Once I get it all off, I'll then get it vapor blasted to remove all the oxidization and all these bits here. As you can see, there's a slight bit of moisture in there, so I'll give it a clean up. Pop that off like that. Give it a wipe out. Splines feel nice and smooth. So we could look round for splits. And what I do is I get the wife's toothbrush. It's just perfect size for getting rid of the old hard grease on the splines. Don't tell Alice I'm using a toothbrush. It's quite surprising now. You get sometimes a bit of hard grease in the splines. I'm going to reapply the correct grease for the splines and before I reinsert it back onto re-diff. It's nice and clean now. Nice and slippy. So I've greased my splines up, put a bit of lube on my gator, lift that up like that. Locate it in, and then you let it click into place. A little bit fiddly, but they do go. That's it. That's not coming out there, is it? To be on the safe side, you can check that clicked in. Is it final drive all right? So I did this oil about 2 years ago. It's roughly done, it's not done much miles, it's done about 10,000 miles, I'd say. Maybe less, maybe about between 7 and 10, I'd say. Just a little bit of dirt. So this is what I use for filling it back up. But I'm just going to run a bit of clean oil through it first and drop it again because they're a bit dirty. And I'll just be... So how I get it to line back up is I just get it somewhat like on shafts. It can be a little bit fiddly. Like that. Then rotate the disc. A bit of pressure. Just like that. Take two. There we go, and we're in. That's popped back in like that. You rotate, you can shaft move inside. The trick is to fill really slowly. So make sure you get the recommended amount in. Also, your little plug at back, it's got a little magnet, so don't forget to just get a bit of cloth in there and Give it a clean. See, it's quite dirty. Nice and clean now. Right, I've had that draining all night, so time to rebuild it all now. Here we go. Easy as that. Next is to refit your plug. Just make sure your O-rings are right. It's a really fine thread, so be careful putting it back in your final drive. When I put oil in, I try to get it in that corner there so it doesn't spill out when you're pumping it in. Next is rerouting the ABS cable back into position. Just make sure your O-ring's still on. You've got your clip in, your little stainless clip there, and you've got your sensor back in there. While I've got caliper off, I'll give us a strip and clean. When I first removed the rear caliper, I noticed it was quite hard to push the pistons back, so I thought I'm going to pull pistons out, take seals out and clean that back, see if there's any corrosion. Another little life hack for you is use an earplug in brake pipe, stop fluid coming out while you're doing your service. So I've got one piston out, it's better to see, but there's a bit of a build up around it. I'll pull the clean off. But that's as solid as that. That's taking some shifting out, so I'll try blanking that up, and I use compressed air to blow it out, but it's a bit stubborn, not wanting to move. I might use as a seal pick, just to pick out the seal. Be careful enough, you can just get behind it and flick it out. There we go. See what's flicked out there, it's a bit hard to see. And pop your seal out, that's it. So that's your dust seal in your mains. So your dust seal in your main seal. black one. Put that in there first, just so you can get that lined up. And I'll remove that bolt. Just makes it so when you put your hugger back on, it's lined up. So I've got new copper washers on. So that's all back brake built up. Just need to bleed it now. So that's all bled up now. And before, when you used to grab hold of the caliper, you could tell it was tight because when you released the rear brake, it wouldn't move like that. It should be tight. So now it's not binding at all. I like to get a bit of compressed air after using a bit of brake cleaner, just to get rid of any brake fluid and really press on pedal and check for leaks. Next I'm fitting this back on to there where it holds the rear brake line and ABS cabling. You notice there's like little notches there, and just there, that's where the rubbers sit, and they're just there. These little rubbers here sit inside them grooves. It clamps it all together. Bolts down like that. Next thing is now to torque them up. Right, and that's finished. Changed all my final drive oil, and I found my rear brake calipers binding. I can't stress enough, please be careful playing with your brakes when you're doing maintenance and repairs. If you're not sure what to do, seek professional advice. It's I can't be held responsible if you do it wrong. This is my bike and this is how I do it. So yeah, thank you for following. Thank you for subscribing. So please like, share and subscribe, and look out for more videos I'll be doing. The next video I'll be doing is servicing the transmission. So thank you, and see you next time.